calories, and that's where our energy is, right? So all of our needs for how I can wave my arm at you, how I can talk to you, is from the energy I get from food through calories. So we've got the three big ones. Everyone knows carbohydrate, fat, and protein, okay? So all of the calories come from these nutrients. They're called macronutrients. Next slide. But we want to really focus on, when we talk about nutrient density, we want to talk about something called micronutrients. And there are no calories in micronutrients. But these are things like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fiber, and something called phytochemicals, which means plant chemicals. So of these micronutrients, they don't have any calories, but we want to eat as many of these as we can in the least amount of calories that we need to sustain the energy and to sustain a healthy body weight, so that we can eat a nutrient-dense diet, okay? So the more we can get these in with the least amount of calories, the longer the lifespan, the lower the disease risk, and the overall greater vitality, okay? So the green line is, again, those whole plant foods, okay? And as we get further up the scale, the calories go up. So oil, for example, is at the very top of that red bar at 4,000 calories per pound. At the lowest, what do you think is at the lowest? Did you see that? Vegetables, okay? So and those first four categories, when people make the bulk of their diet from those first four food groups, they don't have to go to Weight Watchers and count points. They don't have to make sure that the little portion that they're having fits into a half cup. I mean, so much about the diet industry right now is all about, you know, let's have a shake that came out of this packet for your breakfast and your lunch, and then your dinner has got to be a little measured half-cup portion of grains or rice or your little, you know, chicken or whatever it is, the protein. And people just are supposed to be like nibbling their way around, you know, to get to a healthy body weight and a healthier, better health with everything: diabetes, heart disease, cancer, blood pressure, all related to a healthy body weight, all of them. So the closer we can get to eating from those first four green light foods, whole foods, we don't have to worry about counting calories. We don't have to worry about how much, you know, how much we're eating. We can eat to satisfaction and not worry about it, and your body takes care of the rest. All right, next slide. So this is one for my daughter, exactly. This is one I do a lot with children, and this is where kids can really get it. Because not only are we're eating from those plant foods, but we're eating a rainbow. I mean, literally, when I walk into Whole Foods Market and I'm standing in the produce section, I'm just amazed at the beauty of the food that we have. It is just, you know, all of those colors are not only appealing and great to look at, but they do wonders in our bodies. I mean, they literally do wonders. And I will show you a little bit more later about why that is. How is it that these foods are able to do that? So again, we want to focus on getting all of the spectrum of colors, especially the greens. Yes, greens. Next slide, please. This is for the holidays. I thought I'd throw this in there just to kind of make my daughter happy too. So how about instead of a gingerbread house this year? You know, we put together a beautiful, colorful house of veggies. You know, next slide, please. Now, I just want to talk about why is it that we need all those colors? What is it that all those colors in our plant foods are doing in our bodies? And I want to tell you, when we talk about the calories in food, all those calories, especially when there are none of those micronutrients, the fiber, the vitamins, the minerals, when we're just eating calories, like we talked about, Americans eating most of their food or most of their calories from processed grains and sugars, that's a lot of calories, right? Yeah. And the problem is all those calories in our bodies are making a mess, metabolizing calories, which we need, right, for energy, into energy is creating a lot of havoc in your body. This is where things like inflammation starts. This is where things like blood vessels start to break down. Now, but Mother Nature, God, put all of the antioxidants, all of those beautiful colors in with our food so that this mess is dealt with. When you aren't eating all of those colors, that's where disease starts. Next slide, please. So this is, my baby. It's not my baby, but somebody's baby. Making a mess. So this is an example of free radical damage. We talk about, what does antioxidant mean? What is a pro-oxidant? What is this mess that's going on? And the mess is really coming because of when we're breaking down food into energy, things happen, it makes a mess, and if you can notice what happens when you cut an apple and you just leave it on the shelf, and what happens? The air starts to oxidize, that apple turns brown, eventually starts to rot. This is happening internally as well if we are not eating enough of those bright, beautiful, colorful vegetables and fruits to squelch that antioxidant damage that's going on. But Americans are eating very, very low amounts of fruits and vegetables compared to the majority of what they're eating. And this is about by calories, okay? So an American eating 2,000 calories, more than half. It's actually more than 51%. That's kind of an older slide. It's actually up to 60% at this point. So more than half of everything that we're eating is processed foods. Foods that don't have those micronutrients. They don't have all those beautiful colors. And unfortunately, that 7% of fruits and vegetables, most of them are white potatoes. And the majority of the white potatoes that Americans are eating are French fries. Yes, fried. So again, they're eating more refined foods with the oils on the potatoes. Next slide, please. So we already know there's a bad situation in terms of disease. But this is kind of a Debbie Downer slide, right? We've got a lot of obesity and overweight, a lot of heart disease and cancer. And these are plant food deficiency diseases. Plant food deficiency diseases. But I am here, I am the deliverer of good news, because this is not the end of the story. Next slide, please. All right, I just threw this in there. So the other pigeon says to the overweight pigeon, you got to start eating out of a different parking lot. And that's, a lot of our processed foods are coming from the food industry. And the food industry, if you are and one of the best messages, I think, for people, maybe your friends or your family, which, they make this decision for themselves, right? We can't do it for them. But one of the best messages, I think, is getting back to the roots of cooking for yourself. Because the food industry, the restaurant industry, does not care one bit about your health. Not one bit. They only care that you come back. And so they want to push as much specific nutrients into nutrients, when I say nutrients, I mean they want to put as much specific kinds of foods, processed kinds of foods, that hit our pleasure centers and make us addicted to it. And that's how we were made. We were made to want more calories so that we could survive famines. But now we have a modern time where we're eating most of those foods that are hitting that pleasure center in our brains and keep us wanting to come back for more.